Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I'm going to revisit Path of Exiles 2. Just sort of a check-in. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, let's dive right in. I started playing Path of Exiles 2 very shortly after it came out, and I had a good enough time. I didn't really like my very first character I tried. She was just a little difficult. And primarily that was my own fault. I made one character and then I pursued a different path with that character. In other words, I was using skills that weren't necessarily the best for them. So then I recreated a ranger and I started to have a lot more fun because I followed the happy path with that character and was actually capable of taking down monsters, bosses, that sort of thing. I ended up getting not very far as levels are concerned with a game like this, but I did push pretty decently into the game and experienced quite a few of the systems, fought a lot of neat bosses, and sort of learned how it would overall work. Not to mention the fact that you've already seen the skill tree in the game, the passives and stuff, and there's just way too many. I mean, it's ridiculously intimidating how massive that skill list is. So what's the deal with it now? Where are we at? Now, one of the reasons that I decided to take a break was I wanted to see if they were going to release the final acts, 4, 5, and 6, because we only had the first 3. And it's not that I was like pushing Act 3 and desperate for more content. It was that I really didn't feel an overwhelming urge to get to Act 3 and then have to wait some indeterminate period of time to enjoy the final parts of the story. So with that in mind, I took a pretty long break. I played quite a few other games and didn't really keep track of what was happening with Path of Exiles 2. Now I have come back. I went and did a whole bunch of reading, looked up what people were saying, watched some interviews, and if you're not keeping up with it the way I didn't, then this will be news to you. Basically, they've started doing leagues, which I guess are the equivalent of seasons in another game. So when I logged in, there's this Dawn of the Hunt thing, and it's like, create a brand new character. And I'm like, wow, really? We're still in early access? And not all the classes are available, and we're already doing like content drops of that style. That just seemed a little weird to me. Mostly I would think that they would want people to just be abusing the end game system. And maybe they have. Maybe it's just been too easy for people to get to the end. I don't know. I'll discuss that in just a moment. But for whatever reason, they've decided to implement those before the game's even out of early access, before the story's even done, before you've even really had a chance to see everything that there is to see or will be to see. Kind of weird. Not to mention the fact that they continue to release brand new microtransactions in an early access game. I don't necessarily want to criticize them too hard for that. I mean, a lot of games do it, and in a lot of ways, even though they're calling this early access, it's pretty obvious they consider this to be retail. They're not doing character resets or anything like that. I think that'd be pretty disingenuous with doing microtransactions. But they are basically creating new content through these league things, and I think stringing folks along a little bit to try and have more time to develop certain things. I'm not entirely sure why they're spending so much time worrying about that in early access. It would seem to me that they should just drop the character classes as close as possible and then tweak them as they go. I mean, it's early access. That's carte blanche to make changes whenever you want. But that's obviously not what they seem to be doing. I watched some interviews today, and I guess that the trading post is a highly sought after request, and the game company is like, nah, we're not really working on it. But then in another interview, they're like, yeah, we've got plans for it, and it's going to be out, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Whatever. They've got a lot on their plate. There's tons to do. And they've unleashed sort of this roadmap of how they're going to be doing these leagues. So they're still supporting Path of Exile 1. So I guess every, like one of the games will get a league started, and then 2 months later, the other game will get a league, and one league lasts 4 months, and you'll have the opportunity to play this new character with some new content, and then at the end of that time, just like every other season, you'll start up a new character and play again. I saw some things in random forums where people are like, 4 months is way too long. And folks are like, there are guys out there who don't have unlimited time, so casuals will never see endgame if it's much shorter than 4 months. Then there's other people that say that they can finish a season in 6 to 8 weeks, but that still sounds like quite a bit of dedication. I mean, even Diablo takes a fair amount of time to get literally everything done. I don't know, 4 months sounds kind of right. I mean, considering how many passives there are and different kinds of builds you could go for, just trying to get the right gear and stuff, it seems reasonable. But this 4 month on, then start a brand new character each time, it just sounds rough again. I mean, that's what live service games are about. But, you know, the other day I did a video about Inquisitor Martyr and how it was basically on maintenance mode now. You know, they're not doing any more seasons. If you make a new character, you pick whatever season they have done, and you can play that pretty much forever. And someone commented, and I thought it was very interesting, and it was poignant. It was basically that I was too caught up in the live service mindset, and that there is still fun to be had to theory craft in a game that doesn't require you to worry about a season or push to the end game as quickly as possible and all this other stuff. And I have to agree to a certain extent. There's a game he brought up that I actually love, Grim Dawn. You know, that game didn't have seasons or anything, and people played the heck out of that. So, in a lot of ways, I kind of agree with this concept that it doesn't have to be a live game to be fun. And obviously, Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4, you don't have to do the seasons. It's just that there's this FOMO aspect to not doing it because there's gated content, there's cosmetics, there's whatever else that they're offering. And if you don't do the season, you can't get any of that. And you're going to be playing anyway, so why not start a new character, blah, blah, blah. All of the normal FOMO stuff. I don't know. I don't really like it anymore. It's starting to just kind of be tiring in my head. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's the model, and it does keep the game fresh because obviously you're going to lose players if they just get to max level, find their perfect build, roam around and just, you know, take out everything that is in the game and defeat all the content and then get bored. It's nice to have some other objective, and I can't fault them for that. So there you have it, the leagues. Now, I was looking at the reviews, and they're currently mixed on Steam. And some of them are interesting, mostly because they sort of discount the fact that this game is still in early access. And to be perfectly frank, the way that the game company is presenting this product, you could excuse that. There's folks talking about how basically the end game is ridiculous. It's like a horrible grind. If your build does not give you one-shot kills, then you'll be one-shot. It sounds fiddly, and I suspect that this is because they haven't been able to focus on the end game as much because they've already started doing this league thing. They've got people playing brand new characters. They're releasing new classes, so obviously people want to try them. And then, therefore, the data they have on the end game is probably not as complete as they need. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe they should just be able to figure it out. I mean, let's be honest. There are dozens of games just like this one that have plenty of end game that they could study and go, yeah, do we really want ours to be one shot or die? I mean, maybe they do. Maybe that's sort of the vision. I don't know. The way that some of the bosses work, you would wonder. I mean, I have a boss fight in my playthrough here where I was just fooling around to get some footage to talk about the game, and I got one shot like 3 times. And now, of course, I'm super low level, but the point is that there are bosses with mechanics that if you don't avoid them, they can just kill you. And it does get exponentially worse as you get higher in level. While you have tools to survive certain things like that, it is still possible to make a mistake and just be done in one blow. And if that's sort of the model that they want the bosses to be harder, and they do, then I don't know. Maybe it's where it's supposed to be and people just don't like it. I don't know. But that's sort of where Path of Exiles 2 is at. Basically, and to sum it up, they have effectively released the game, and they will be releasing more features that probably should have been in it before they released the game. Like I said, the classes, and some more endgame, They've got tons of unique items that have been released into the game based on this Dawn of the Hunt league, and you could still play standard, but I'll tell you that when I logged in, it was very insistent that I make a new character. It was like, you really want to try Dawn of Hunt, believe us. So I don't know. I didn't really feel the overwhelming urge to start over. I more wanted to jump back in and play my original character, but for the sake of just seeing what it was like, I started a new one and started plowing through it again. I will say that it has a slightly different feel than when I played before. Is it significant enough to where it would change your experience? Like, if you had tried it before, would you suddenly be won over now? I don't think so. Not based on the reviews and the interviews and that kind of thing. There are some exciting things coming. I did see some footage of the druid. The bear form is just freaking awesome. He moves like a real bear. I thought it was cool. All around, I think the Path of Exiles 2 will probably turn that mixed reviews around as they release more content and offer people more chances to explore their end game in the very, very detailed skill system and build system. You can do a lot of very interesting theory crafting in it. So I think it's going to keep people's attention for a long time. I think that they were a little shifty the way they're doing it. I don't think it's the best presentation. And I think it's very shady to have a bunch of microtransactions in their supposedly early access game. I'm not even sure why they're using the term. It's not even necessarily an excuse. They could do whatever they want anyway. People are mad regardless. So just say you released it. It looks done. There's not like placeholder graphics or any of that stuff. But that's neither here nor there. What do you guys think of Path of Exile 2? Have you played it? Are you looking forward to it? Have you been waiting to see what they do with the additional acts? I have no idea when they're coming out. I couldn't really find any kind of information. Some said that they'll release them all at once, and some said they're going to release them one at a time with these content updates, like these league things. Who knows? If that's the case, it's going to be every 4 months, so you wouldn't see the end of it for like almost a year. But whatever. What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm going to stop just rambling about Path of Exile now. This is Robert with Society Case Files signing off.